Good morning. Hi, Brent.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Hello. Hello,
Welcome,
everybody.
everyone. Yeah,
Great to be back with you on Saturday. We're going
we
to go legal beagle.
we had a little break last weekend. Brent came up and it was great to have you here and hang out. Your dad was so
Mhm.
excited and disappointed when you left, and you guys had a great time golfing and
Yeah, I was sad leaving you guys. I was
helping him
very
with
sad.
some projects he needed help with.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. And your
We got
videos
the
and all your
tractor
stuff.
out.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
you got to drive the tractor.
Mm-hmm.
It's excellent.
That's a sweet tractor you got, by the way.
Is it?
Yes.
I've never driven it.
Oh, you should. It's very easy. Very easy.
He would probably I mean, he would probably let me. No, but he would be all for it if I wanted to, but I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
The, Spanish consumes me. So,
Mhm.
I've
It
got
does.
where are we at? We're at the interlocutory pre-interlocutory appeal stage here, where the process after you lose, where the case isn't completely finished, is interlocutory appeal. But before you can go to the Second Circuit, which is the higher court, you actually have to ask the judge for permission to do it first. And so the judge that said you lose, you go to that judge and say, I don't like that you said I lose, and I'd like to go to the higher courts. You have to ask her for permission. And then I believe after, even if she says yes, you
Mhm.
still have to then ask for a next level permission to appeal. And that's with the Second Circuit. So they can say, now we don't want to take it. And then
Okay.
if they do take it, then it'll be still an interlocutory appeal, but then it'll be presented to the Second Circuit seriously for a ruling, which will become, I believe, I don't know in the Second Circuit if everything becomes a published opinion or not, but that's certainly one of the considerations they're thinking about. Because if the Second Circuit comes out, if it goes all the way there and they accept it and they take it on for the full-blown appeal, interlocutory, it's still interlocutory, uh, their ruling, the ruling of the Second Circuit will become a type of binding authority on some and persuasive authorities on some, depending on if it's published and depending on the jurisdiction that uses it, etc. So it's a big deal. And I have pulled up the last time you and I looked at this, it was the SEC coming to Judge Torres to say, we don't like your ruling. We are not happy. And so we've got sour grapes. And so my overall impression was, I don't know, I wasn't that impressed by it. I'm usually more impressed by the
No, I've read through a lot of case studies with you, and like it, I almost didn't even see really an argument. It was just kind of citing different, you know, different cases, different stuff, which is good, but it just never, it didn't have any teeth. It was
did
like,
it for me.
what are you getting at here? It's like trying to paint this really broad, kind of vague picture,
Yeah,
and
and I was more persuaded by their arguments in the motion for summary judgment in certain places. And so we
Mhm.
are going to be able to take a look now at what Ripple has to say about the matter. So
Oh, good.
I haven't even looked at this. This is hot off the presses for me. I'm a little behind
Woo!
because the SEC just filed their reply to this. So I'm not sure. I think we'll probably do the reply next weekend, but we'll see. There's quite a bit of stuff here. So how do I do this again? Oh yeah, right here, share. I think I do window. Maybe not. Oh no, that's not a Brave tab. Oh, here, yeah.
Hope everybody's doing good on this weekend.
I'll be
Much
quiet.
peace and love to all of you. Thank you so much for the support this week.
Yeah,
We were
exactly.
feeling it. We were all together and we were all talking about it and getting excited about the channel. So
'Cause I'm
thank you
having
all for being
problems.
here with us.
Of course, I would be having problems. I just had to open it. Okay. Alrighty.
Ooh, ripple response.
Can you see this?
Excellent. Yes, I
Ooh,
can see.
okay, good. This is good news. Let's see what it's got to say. I'm very interested to see. It
Mhm.
certainly is holding up the fort again with all this stuff. The court's order does not involve a pure or controlling question of law. Nice. The SEC's challenge does not raise a pure question of law. What they're saying here, I would suspect, is that, you can't quibble over she as the trier of fact found certain facts or whatever. Difference of opinion cannot show a substantial ground for difference of opinion. That means the facts have to be pretty solid. An immediate appeal will not advance the termination of this litigation. All right, let's see. Let's dig in. Let's go past this. The intros are always kind of good thing.
Yeah.
SEC commenced this unprecedented enforcement action. It's not unprecedented. They've been
Yeah,
doing it for years against all kinds of companies.
you didn't know this was coming? Like it
They
was
knew it was
coming.
they knew it was coming. I mean, I'm not trying to side with SEC, but this is a little bit, I
No,
don't know.
I love that you've take the balanced approach and
It's just
look
not
at both sides.
unprecedented.
It's the only way to do it.
You gave money to people. So people gave you a bunch of money and you promised that they would get more money back in return. I don't know. I
Yeah,
struggle with people struggling with that. Action
right?
alleging that virtually all of defendants' transactions in XRP over 8 years were investment contracts. So far, I don't know why they're just bringing up stuff that's beating a dead horse. All right. The SEC's case against defendants, the entire case. Well, they're only appealing 2 out of 3, has been a centerpiece in its strategy of regulating the U.S. crypto industry through case-by-case enforcement. And I don't agree with that at all. They're going after companies where you could see clearly that took money in exchange. I took investment funds from people. I don't know. They keep going on this. In keeping with that strategy, the SEC has repeatedly argued the only question before this court is how Howie applies to the specific and unique facts of this case. Whatever. You guys are losing me here. I don't know. The court did not rule in the SEC's favor on all issues. We know that. In response, the agency is now rushing to appeal what it claims is purely legal question to every digital asset case. No. I don't know. This is a lot of inflammatory rhetoric that I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. You're losing me. You're losing credibility. But the SEC's latest shift of, quote, litigation positions to further its desired goals, like its early one, shows no allegiance to the law. Okay, you're plucking one. Everyone loves this. They pluck it one thing out of a hearing where they sent their newbie lawyer to argue. They switched positions to try and win the issue, which lawyers do all the time. And then everybody thinks this is the end all be all thing. Sorry, I'm not going rah rah ripple today, but I
No, I
don't
love it.
leave us.
I totally agreed with you. I mean
Don't leave us. Don't leave us.
those last two things we read, that's seems inflammatory to me.
It's just not. I'm not okay. Where's the issue? Where's the addressing of the issue? First, you got to put your, crybaby stuff up front.
Yeah, very vague.
Okay,
Very
now
vague.
we're going. The exceptional circumstances required for interlocutory appeal are absent. Okay, finally. All right. First, the court's summary judgment order does not present a controlling question of law suitable for interlocutory appeal. Good.
Mm.
Finally. Second, the supposed Substantial ground for disagreement is merely the SEC's dissatisfaction with the court's application of Howey to most of defendants' transactions in XRP. Okay, though that's true. I mean, that's why you appeal. I'm not happy. And third, the SEC concedes that protracted litigation is necessary regardless of whether its requested interlocutory appeal succeeds, meaning certification has no chance of hastening the end of this litigation. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't persuaded by that from the SEC. That says it's going to make it more swift or whatever. Independently, the court should also deny the SEC's request for a stay. Fine. All right. Background. We don't need that. We all know this. Legal standard. We will learn about what they'll repeat that. So I'll just skip that.
Mm-hmm.
The SEC fails to establish any of the three conditions required for certification. Okay. This court should follow the Second Circuit's instruction that the use of Section 1292B, subdivision B, quote, must be strictly limited to the precise conditions stated in that law. And there's a case cited for that, Klinghoffer.
Elizabeth, will you give us just a brief explanation of kind of the requirements, to approve an interlocutory appeal?
Yeah, these are the three conditions right here.
Oh, we're already there.
We're there. And so
Beautiful.
it's right here. I'll go
Mhm.
back a little bit. I skipped past that. So yeah, only when three conditions are met. One, the order involves a controlling question of law. And that's very interesting. I don't know what's going to happen there. And then two, as to which there is substantial ground for difference of opinion. And three, an immediate appeal from the order may materially advance the ultimate termination of the litigation. So I guess what that means is if they win in the Second Circuit, I don't see how that it just sends it back. It just sends it back and tells the judge she got it wrong. And now I guess she has to vacate her order and order that they win. So maybe we shall see. Let's see what they have to say. They're going to start out with the first issue right here. The court's order does not involve a pure or controlling question of law. The SEC's challenge does not raise a pure question of law. So I don't know what the price of Ripple is. I think it's pretty low. And I think this is maybe part of the reason.
Yeah, it pretty consistently hovers around 50 cents.
We're at 50 now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a big swing last week, but it came back.
Well, because of all this, probably. Well, not because of all this, but whatever else is going on in that area.
50 cents this morning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first condition for certification must involve controlling question of law. Okay, that's fine. What does that mean? To a pure question of law that the reviewing court can decide quickly and cleanly without having to study the record. Okay. So there's thousands and thousands of pages. Can they glean from a few things that the court cited that somebody should win or lose? Maybe. Sorry. Yet here, the court's order, quote, examined the totality of circumstances surrounding defendant's sales of XRP. Examined the totality of, okay, fine. It found the institutional sales, which the SEC alleged amounted to 728 million, were sales of securities, while the programmatic sales and other distributions were not. The court did not make those rulings, quote, without having to study the record. Youngers. And they got some funny. Later in the reply, I guess people are making fun of the SEC and their discussion of youngers. We'll see that next week, maybe.
Okay.
Nor would the Second Circuit be able to review the court's order without doing so. Interesting. Okay. So what they're saying is once this goes to the Second Circuit, all they're going to get, they're not even going to get the full record on appeal. They can only get the parties' moving papers and the order. So can you glean from the order and the facts that she used that they should have won and not lost? So in her order, she takes the thousands and thousands of pages and she takes from that and puts in that order. I think you and I went over that.
Yeah. Well,
That the facts that she finds salient lead her to find in favor of Ripple with respect to the law that she relies on. Does that
okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
So what they're saying here is because the Second Circuit is not going to have the benefit of those thousands of pages, because that's not going to be the procedure at these early preliminary steps. You
I
just
mean,
can't do it.
can you overturn a decision that way?
If the facts, as stated, found by the trial court don't match the law. And I'm
Okay.
trying to think of an example,
Yeah, no, that
and
that made sense.
I can't off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of an analogy that would make it more clear. And I should have thought of one before.
I can't think of an example. This is kind of new to me.
Yeah, like so a
Yeah.
finding. So let's use criminal law because it's easier for me. So a finding that I stood outside of the man's house and said, as soon as you leave, I'm going to break in and steal all your stuff.
Mhm.
And the judge, let's say there's no jury, and I'm really making a botchery of this, but the judge says, you're guilty of burglary. Burglary requires that you enter the house without permission with the intent to commit some kind of a crime.
Okay.
Thus, those facts, the only facts that the Second Circuit would be looking at is the guy just stood outside and said, "I'm gonna come in when you leave." That is not burglary. That may be some other crime, but that's not burglary, in which case
Mhm.
the Second Circuit could then say, "Oh, yeah, on its face, there's big problems here. Those facts don't equal a burglary. So we are gonna take this up because somebody got this wrong."
Gotcha. It's really just like intent
Well, not
versus
intent, it's the facts have to match the elements of the law. So the
right.
elements of burglary are 1, 2, 3. First element, the guy went into the house. So if he just stands on the street corner, he's not in the house. You haven't even met the bare minimum of
Right.
that case. And
Right.
so a higher court would say, I don't know what you were smoking, judge, but he wasn't in the house. So that's not a burglary.
I gotcha.
Mhm. And this is what
You're saying
they're saying.
specifically if the case was tried as burglary
I'm
versus
using
like
as an analogy.
the threat of him doing it.
The threat of him doing it doesn't even meet the first element that has to be shown. So every time you go to court,
Mhm.
there's a set of rules, and we call them elements because we break it down that have to be proved. So if you're the initiator of a court action, either a prosecutor or a civil defendant or whatever, there's a set of elements that you have to prove. So those are the legal elements.
Mhm.
And then you have to bring facts to match the law. And you have to prove those facts either by beyond a reasonable doubt or preponderance of the evidence, or sometimes clear and convincing in cases of fraud, whatever. I don't know what the standard is. Doesn't really matter. If you don't have those facts to support that, or the jury doesn't find those facts in your favor, you don't win.
Mhm.
So that's what the elements of going back to the other lawsuit was. They had to show unregistered sale of a security. Remember all those Howie elements? The elements of Howie were investment of money. I'm drawing a blank on the Howie. I shouldn't be doing reasonable
Oh,
expectation of profits, common enterprise, and
right.
those three.
Nice.
So they're saying that the court's facts, the ones she plucked out, are good. We're good to go on those facts. They match or don't match in this contrary situation. They match or don't match the elements as to being a correct ruling.
Okay.
So
That's all starting to paint a better picture.
kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky.
Yeah, a little
So
tricky.
the only thing that Second Circuit can look at, the Second Circuit can't go through the thousands of pages to try and find facts that they like.
Right.
They can only use the facts as Judge Torres thought she liked or was persuaded by to rule one way or the other, is what
That
I'm
was my big
understanding from this.
question, is how could you get away with ignoring the entire, dialogue of the case?
Because it's appeal. An appeal is strictly there to analyze, did something go wrong legally?
Right.
A trial court is there to blend facts with legal elements. An appeal court only looks at legally, did everything go right legally?
Man, I hope I always stay out of trouble.
That's right. That's right.
Sounds like a pain in the ass.
It's kind of it's a lottery. Remember Mr. Taleb? It's a lottery.
Yeah.
And then let's get back to the statement. Yet here, the
Okay.
court order examined the totality of circumstances surrounding defendant's sales of XRP, i.e., in order to summarize that from 15, she already looked at the thousands of pages of evidence the parties brought to her.
Mhm.
They said, here, SEC brought this stack of papers and the defendants brought this stack of papers, and they said, here, this is why we think we should win. This is why we think we should win. And she sorted it out. And she decided what was persuasive and what wasn't.
Mhm.
So this is why they said the court did not make those rulings without having to study the record. She did it, but the Second Circuit is not going to be able to review, nor would the Second Circuit be able to review the court's order without doing so. And I don't think they're going to do that. But anyway, let's keep going. Question of law requirement does nothing more than exclude cases involving genuine fact disputes and allows interlocutory appeals of cases involving the application of law to facts. I don't know what that means, sort of. Let's keep going. Maybe we'll figure out. I don't know.
Right.
Good sentence, or my brain just not great.
Mhm.
Is, quote, whether C, arguing that relevant question is whether the ruling at issue involves a legal dispute or a factual dispute. Courts in this district have repeatedly rejected that position. Appeal requires a pure question of law. So the law is the facts are undisputed. Both the parties or the court found that this is an undisputed question of fact. The light was red. You said the light was red. You said the light was red. And now I have to figure out what the legal ramifications of that are as applied to whatever law we're talking about.
Okay.
Thus, where the questions presented for interlocutory appeal would require the Second Circuit to review the court's application of the law to the facts, they do not present issues of pure law and are not appropriate. So they're there just to see if she screwed up legally but they can't go in and decide that she exercised her discretion in a way that they wouldn't have done. So she has the discretion to look at the facts the way she looks at. So this is persuasive.
Mhm.
Defendants could not satisfy the first prong of 1292 analysis because the question for which defendants sought certification was a mixed question. Aha, an appellate review would be fact intensive, and that's not what appellate courts are for. They're not for facts, they're for law. Only law. The SEC fails to address this authority, which defendants cited in their pre-motion letter, nor does it grapple with the overbreadth of its position. If the mere lack of genuine fact disputes created a question of law, then every partial grant of summary judgment would satisfy this part of the standard. That would turn interlocutory appeals from the exception to the rule. The SEC's argument also misconstrues the court's order, as that order reflects the Howey test is a fact-intensive inquiry and will reach a result that depends on the unique characteristics of each digital asset.
Mhm.
What a reasonable investor would, under all circumstances, expect is for determination by the trier of fact in much the same manner as determination of what reasonable person would or would not have done concerning acts claimed to have been negligent. And they're using this as an example. Negligence is like an auto accident type of thing or some other thing. Until it is decided to seek interlocutory appeal, the SEC itself had always taken that same position. Quote, whether or not a particular transaction involves the offer and sale of a security will depend on the facts and circumstances. So they're throwing their words back at them, saying they know this, and yet they're
Mhm.
still trying to get this appeal through. Howey must be applied to the facts and circumstances at hand. Again, not something that appellate courts are there to sort out. Indeed, in its affirmative motion for summary judgment, SEC submitted more than 2,000 factual assertions that it claimed were relevant and material. Because the questions the SEC presents for interlocutory appeal, quote, would require the Second Circuit to review this court's application of the law to the evidence adduced, it's inappropriate. Interesting. I don't know what this footnote's about. They made similar averments in other cases, and they're okay, so we won't go into that. How far does this go down? This is quite persuasive right now for me. The cases the SEC cites do not hold otherwise. Each address pure questions of law, and none required the Second Circuit to review the district court's factual findings. It's all unavailable. They're saying the cases they cited to support their, request to go to the Second Circuit they're not persuasive.
Mhm.
Certified appeals, motion to desist, I don't know if that matters. Attempts to divorce the court's rulings from the facts upon which they are based, claiming at 10 that it seeks to appeal only certain legal disputes at issues in the order's rulings, whether issuer offers and sales over trading platforms and are in exchange for non-cash consideration, satisfy Howey's requirements. I don't know what that means. Okay. Oops, sorry. The court's order simply does not present those questions. The court did not rule that offers and sales over crypto asset trading platforms can never give rise to an investment contract. That's right. It found that defendants' programmatic sales were not sales of investment contracts on the facts of this case. The court cited evidence that, quote, Ripple did not make any promises or offers to programmatic purchasers. And that Ripple's programmatic sales represented less than 1% of the global XRP trading volume. Thus, the vast majority of individuals who purchase XRP from digital asset exchanges did not invest their money in Ripple at all. And that's where I still quarrel. I think that's an issue related to common enterprise, but whatever.
Mhm.
I might be way out to lunch on that. This is persuasive. for me. The court's ruling as to Ripple's other distributions were similarly case specific, did not pay money, and so on. That was the gave it to employees and donated them and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nor can the SEC credibly claim that Second Circuit will not need to study the factual record because key facts are, quote, undisputed. There are more than 1,700 arm's length contracts by which Ripple sold XRP to various counterparties, contrary to the SEC's argument. And as this court has already observed, those contracts and their provisions are relevant to the question of whether investment contract exists. The existence and contents of those contracts may be undisputed, but that hardly means they do not require study. Defendants can and will make arguments based on the contract provisions. Blah, blah, blah. It can ignore facts in the record. And they're going to seek to cross appeal. Oh, what are they going to cross appeal? We'll seek to cross appeal the portion of the court's order finding defendants' institutional sales were sales of securities. We're going to lose on that one. I would like to. The SEC. Okay, so here's some second part of that, but I was thinking of zipping over to the reply. Oh, this is really short. I was curious how the SEC was handling it. I don't think I can wait till next week. The SEC's questions presented are also not controlling issues of law because they apply only to part of the case. This issue does not present controlling question of law, as a reversal of this part of the prior decision would neither expedite nor terminate the action. Oh, okay. Say even if they win, it doesn't say what they say it's going to do, which is wrap everything up and avoid more costly litigation.
Mm-hmm.
Substantial impact on a large number of pending litigations. Yeah, I didn't think that was persuasive at all. It's irrelevant. Looking to other cases cannot satisfy the requirement that interlocutory appeal accelerate the resolution of this one. But even if it could, the SEC's argument goes nowhere. That's what I said last week, I thought. So that's good. The factual and procedural postures of other SEC enforcement actions are different, as the SEC itself has argued. See in Terraform Labs. Interesting. Now they're using their words against them. Distinguishing this court's ruling based on the factual finding that retail investors did not necessarily know they were investing into Ripple's efforts. Good one there.
Yep.
If the SEC fails to meet its burden under Howey, as it did here, I don't know that it failed to meet its burden. Maybe it did. I didn't see this one. Genesis Global Cap. I don't know what that's about. That is not as... Okay, so let's zip over just for fun. And then maybe we'll come back to this second section and do it the next time. So I need to stop sharing. Very interesting. Maybe
that was interesting.
Maybe they'll have a shot. I don't know.
They really got to meat and potatoes there.
They really did after they screwed around at the beginning. That's good.
They did. Yep.
I don't care for all that. I'm trying to sound smart crap. I'm trying to sound too clever. I've never liked that. Yeah, how about this guy? Can you see this? Oh, no, this is defendants. Sorry, I screwed this up. What do I have to do? I have to go over here. I have to open it. And this 29-page reply, I just want to jump to the point where they try and counter what they said, because Jeremy, I don't know if you know this guy, Jeremy Hogan, he's been the community's go-to sort of civil, he's a plaintiff's lawyer. He does, auto accidents and stuff like that. And he had this channel that went on and on, Brent. Yeah. And they all loved him. And he had little cute little stuff that he added. He made it more interesting for the people to kind of follow. But he just came out and tweeted that he thought the SEC's brief was persuasive. So I don't know. And he said, sorry, I'm going to duck now and get a bodyguard. So
yeah, why would you do that?
Oh, because
why would you do that?
He's trying to be
asking, not judging the guy. Why would you do that?
He's trying to be objective.
Oh, that's good.
Be an echo chamber.
Yeah.
So I was trying to see why he thought that.
He was trying to jump on the sour grapes train or what?
Well, I've always been sour grapes, but Jeremy, he's
Mhm.
always tried to be somewhat objective. His calls on timing were, timing is hard. The
Yeah.
SEC seeks to appeal controlling questions of law. Does this address that? Let's see. Let's go there quickly. They're going to do the introduction. Here's this naughty legal problems. Naughty legal problems.
I like how they worded that.
Yeah. Let's go back. The SEC respectfully requests certification because the issues raised by the court's order present precisely the kinds of naughty legal problems that led Congress to provide for interlocutory review in 1292. Okay, well, they're starting with their inflammatory rhetoric up front, trying to be clever and cute. Not really a big fan. At least two opinions within this district reach contradictory legal conclusions on these issues, and many other courts are considering whether similar offers and sales involving blind bid-ask trading platforms or buyers purchasing in exchange for goods and services satisfy Howey. Well, we went over this one, Brent. And again, I think the guy blends common enterprise with the third element of reasonable expectation of profits. That's just me. Nobody else has said that, but that's just me. Let's see. Let's keep going to where they address what we just. The SEC seeks to appeal controlling questions of law. And I think that matched the other one that we were talking about.
Seeks appeal to
Where they're saying that you're trying to come to court and have the Second Circuit look at the whole thousands of pages instead of just relying on what she found to be persuasive or relevant. They implausibly assert that the order does not involve pure questions of law suitable. Okay, fine. A surprising position that squarely contradicts governing law because this court applied the law to undisputed facts. Yeah, she kind of did because the blind bid ask was a fact that was the SEC said was relevant, and Ripple said, yeah, that's fine. It's not, we don't dispute that. And that's what she relied on. So defendants do not cite a single opinion involving Howey in which a court concluded that the interlocutory order did not involve a question of law. Okay, so they're citing the 1292 law, though. That lack of support is telling, and it reflects well-established and oft-repeated principle that the ultimate question of whether an instrument is a security is a question of law, not fact. All right, so that's
interesting.
That's interesting. So they're saying that these Howey stuff is always just comes down to what the judge decides. So where'd she get it wrong though?
Right.
Now they're saying this opposite thing. Taking defendant's argument to its logical end would mean that a district court's application of Howey could never be the subject of interlocutory appeals. So they said this other thing that they're making it the exception, the rule, not the exception. And now they're saying you're going to wipe it all out. This is because, by definition, such rulings necessarily involve the application of Howey to the facts presented in each case and could require the Court of Appeals to study the factual record. But the Second Circuit has, on multiple occasions, granted interlocutory review of whether an instrument constitutes. Okay, so I don't care. I don't care about that. Indeed, applying a well-settled legal test to undisputed facts does not turn. So they're saying it's undisputed fact. Fine. That's their big thing. It's undisputed. Defendant's position also directly contradicts a recent Supreme Court decision defining a pure question of law, Dupree versus Younger. I guess this is where they're making fun of that. It's maybe supposed to be Youngers. I don't know. The court also explained that pure questions of law resolution unaffected by future developments. I don't know what they're talking about here. The court's order resolved whether programmatic sales and other distributions constitute the offer and sales of securities without reference to any disputed facts. That's true. I think that's true. She said the blind bid ask thing was a big deal for her, and that the reasonable investor wasn't you, like you, me, and some other people buying off the exchanges or whomever, big buyers, small buyers. This court correctly noted that it was resolving these questions as a matter of law. Okay. Moreover, these issues will not be changed in any way by the trial on the aiding and abetting charges. Okay. Whatever. Defendants wrongly contend otherwise by pretending as if the ruling on programmatic sales and other distributions did not rest on undisputed facts. That's true. They kind of did that. They were like making much ado about all these facts, but she ultimately resolved everything on undisputed. Okay. So I don't know. So where's your law that says you should have won then? I'm looking for it. Do not incite, involve, grant assignment, undisputed. So they're going harp on undisputed facts. Denied certification, sufficiency of evidence about defendant's intent, undisputed facts, studied an extensive record to identify the undisputed facts that this court studied relevant is of no consequence. I kind of agree with you. This court determined that the legally relevant facts are uncontested. Okay, well, that's what she said. That's what she said. The court did not act as a fact finder, and the SEC is not now trying to appeal any factual findings. That's true. So maybe that's why Jeremy finds this brief persuasive. The legal questions on which SEC proposes are based on undisputed. Okay, fine. You got me. I believe you. Now what? Where's the law that says you should have won based on those undisputed facts? Doesn't matter. They're not being persuasive there. Defendants do not seriously dispute that the order's rulings disposed of a significant portion of the SEC's case. That's all. Nobody cares about that. Defendants also do not seriously dispute the rulings at issue could affect a large number of actions similar to this one. Who cares? Where's the law that says you should win?
Yeah. We're looking.
I think we're going to leave this as a cliffhanger. That was persuasive, but they didn't get to why those undisputed facts applied to the law means they should have won and not lost. So cliffhanger.
Yeah, we got to find the bazooka that they promised.
I need it. I don't see it. They say I'm persuaded. Okay. All that they put all this, what do you call it? This red herring maybe. But does that mean that those programmatic sales were investment contracts? And that's why I went over that big series. I don't know if it was with you. Oh no, it was on my own when Elle was at the July 4th. I did the big 3-part series on common enterprise because I'm still sitting here. Everyone's over here quibbling about reasonable expectation of profits. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't send my money to Ripple. And why are they putting I didn't send my money to Ripple in the reasonable expectation of profits column?
Yeah, I saw that in there.
I don't know.
They got into that.
They say this stuff is so super complicated and nobody can understand it. So maybe I don't. That's the way it goes. We're going to wrap it up. I got my Spanish marathon coming up.
Excellent. It's fun to have another Legal Beagle Saturday with you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Brent.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for teaching us about all this. I'm really enjoying learning about it. I really like reading the law too.
I like this as kind of like a telenovela. It's like slowly unfolding because I don't know. These parties are just bitter. And now library's appealing, so that's fun. We got to get into that too.
Yeah, we gotta do the cliffhanger. We gotta dig into this thing.
We're doing cliffhanger today, so peeps,
Nice.
that way the peeps will come back next week.
Mhm.
What do you got planned? Anything? Rest? Relaxation?
I'm gonna rest and work. Um, I got much to do channel wise. Very excited about tomorrow's show. Um, we've kind
Good.
of had weeks off here and there, but we'll be on for tomorrow, everybody, for Sunday.
Yeah, if I get this
Uh,
posted, I don't know if I will on time.
yeah, people will
We'll
probably
see.
be watching football, but if you're not, check out the
Oh,
Staple Crew.
football? It's early in the season.
Right, exactly. Who cares?
Oh,
So
nonsense.
come hang out with us, or
The
do both.
outcome the outcome's predetermined, just kinda like an election.
It sure felt that way last year. I mean, nothing felt.
And you say cheat and rig? I don't know. That's just me. I'm skeptical. Alan's a Pollyanna, not me.
I say if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
There you
So
go.
you know, I try not to judge anymore.
There you go. Just
On any of it.
cheat your way to the top. Steal your way to the top. Claw your way to the top.
Yeah, I'm gonna claw. I'm not gonna cheat.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
Alright, well, you missed only one Sunday, and you'll be back. Hopefully, you'll
Yeah,
feel great, and we'll see you tomorrow,
sounds
friend.
good.
If you
Thanks,
need us,
Elizabeth.
call us.
We'll do. Long
Bye-bye.
time.
Long time.